NBA Hall of Famer Paul Pierce speaks on why he hated working at ESPN and why it has to do with LeBron James. I'll talk about it right after the bumper. Good people. Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, today I'm here to talk about Paul Pierce, the future Hall of Famer. Paul Pierce sat down with Sports Illustrated to talk about his time working at ESPN. Now, as we all know, Paul Pierce got fired from ESPN after he posted a video at his own home or at a friend's home or whatever that included strippers and him smoking some marijuana and some stuff that a company like ESPN's not gonna stand behind. All right, so Paul Pierce got in some trouble with that. He, like I said, he was fired. He no longer works for ESPN. He's no longer employed there. But he said his time at ESPN was coming to an end no matter what. He said his time at ESPN was trash, right? So I'm going to read to you some of this article that comes from Complex. I'm going to share my screen and we'll read into it and we'll get into it and why Paul Pierce never apologized for anything that he did. So it says Paul Pierce also explained why he didn't apologize for the video. So like I said, the video showed him with some strippers, smoking some weed, playing some poker, having a good time with a lot of stuff that a lot of men do during their free time. And Paul Pierce, he just happened to record his and he happened to work for ESPN. So it goes on to say, come on, this is Pierce talking, quote, come on, I didn't do anything illegal. These MFers in the Hall of Fame did some cocaine, effing battery. What the F do I look like? I was just having a good time. All the people coming after me, half you MFers do the same stuff. You're just hiding it. And you all are married while you're doing it. I'm divorced. I'm retired. I'm having fun. So his agent, let me give you some context. Paul Pierce's agent, when he put the video out and when ESPN fired him, Paul Pierce's agent, his name is Jeff Schwartz, wanted him to apologize for what took place because he thought it would hurt his chances of getting into the Hall of Fame. And Paul Pierce is like, bro, there's dudes in the Hall of Fame that assaulted women. There's dudes in the Hall of Fame that did cocaine. There's dudes in the Hall of Fame that do this same stuff and they're married. I'm not married, so I can do this stuff. And my stats are my stats. It shouldn't, like what I do in my free time shouldn't affect my Hall of Fame eligibility, my Hall of Fame status. What I did on the court is what should affect how I get into the Hall of Fame, whether or not I get into the Hall of Fame. And Paul Pierce is clearly a Hall of Fame player. Now it says, in fact, instead of issuing an apology, Pierce dissed ESPN in May after revealing that he hit the lottery with the cryptocurrency Ethereum at ESPN. This is a tweet Paul Pierce put out. He said, I don't need you. He tweeted, I got Ethereum. I made more money with this crypto in the past month than I did with y'all in a year. The truth shall set you free. Pierce also spoke about how he never really liked working at ESPN because they talked about LeBron James too much. Pierce said he was, quote, done with ESPN by the time the incident occurred, citing the travel and the way too demanding network executives as reasoning why he never loved the job. There was also the matter of having to talk about his former rival on the air ad nauseum. Quote, there's a lot of stuff over there that you can't say. And you have to talk about LeBron all the time. Now, for those of us who know about the history of LeBron James and Paul Pierce, let me break it down to you. LeBron James was the up-and-coming superstar in the NBA. He was just better than everybody. And OGs like Paul Pierce couldn't stand it because Paul Pierce, like I said, is a Hall of Fame player, but he was never LeBron James. Paul Pierce is a Hall of Fame player, but he was never Kobe Bryant. Paul Pierce was a Hall of Fame player, and he played in the Eastern Conference for the Celtics, while LeBron played majority of his year also in the Eastern Conference. So when LeBron James was in Cleveland, Paul Pierce and the Celtics had their way with LeBron. When LeBron James didn't have nobody on his team early in his career, Paul Pierce got the best of LeBron. He was better. And some people could argue, not really, but those delusional Boston Celtics fans would argue that Paul Pierce is a better basketball player than LeBron, at least at that time. Then LeBron went to Miami, especially when Paul Pierce got with KG and Ray Allen. and Rondo and Kendrick Perkins and, those guys, and they were winning. They won a championship. They went to the finals again in 2010. They won a championship in 08. Went to the championship in 2010. It was a game 7 away from beating the Lakers and winning 2 championships in 3 years. But what happened in that summer of 2010 after the finals? Well, LeBron went to Miami, and then everything changed. LeBron went to Miami, and everything changed. Then he started beating Paul Pierce. Then he started beating them often and often and again and again and again. And there became this hatred between the Celtics and the Heat. And then what did LeBron James do in the Heat that put the cherry on top for the hatred between the two teams? They snatched Ray Allen. Ray Allen, who had a chance to sign an extension with Boston, decided to go team up with LeBron in the Heat. And what'd he do? He won a championship. He helped LeBron win another championship. So now LeBron had 2 and Paul Pierce only had 1. Now LeBron was beating Paul Pierce again and again and again. And because of LeBron, because of what LeBron was doing to the Celtics broke that team up. They sent KG and Paul Pierce over to Brooklyn and got a F ton of picks back, right? And LeBron continued to go on and go to the finals again and again and win another championship with Cleveland this time and then another championship with the Lakers later, while Paul Pierce had to watch it all and just continue to see the greatness. After talking all this crap about LeBron, just continue to see him to ascend to newer and higher heights that some people in the history of basketball have never hit, to do some things that have never been done in the history of the NBA. So yeah, that's the rivalry between Paul Pierce and LeBron James. So just imagine if you're Paul Pierce. You're a Hall of Famer. You had a really good career. You won a title. You won a Finals MVP. And you retire. You want to be in the media game. You go. You work for the biggest sports media company there is, ESPN. And what do they make you do? They make you talk about your rival all the time. They make you talk about the guy you dislike the most all the time. Because you know why? He drives ratings. People have built their careers on talking about LeBron James. Whether it's Brian Windhorst or Skip Bayless, like they've made whole careers. And if you're Paul Pierce, it's like, I don't need to do that. I already have a career. I'm a Hall of Famer. I just want to talk basketball. But if you're talking basketball, especially basketball in the NBA, gotta be talking about LeBron James. So that's why the fit never worked. It never worked. And so Paul Pierce was like, man, look, I can't be myself. I like to drink. I like to smoke. I like to have strippers around. I do what I want. I'm divorced. I can do this. So I can't be myself. I have to talk about LeBron James all the time. Let's just expedite this process. Let me just put on Instagram that I'm out here. I got stuff around me. I got the things going or whatever. That way ESPN ain't got no choice but to fire me. And guess what? I'm going to put some of these millions that I made in NBA into this crypto called Ethereum and double and triple my money. And get more from Ethereum and the cryptocurrencies than I ever made at ESPN. So salute to Paul Pierce, man. It's funny listening to the story. It's like quite hilarious, but it's interesting to see that he actually never really liked working at ESPN anyway. That's not a surprise, but it is funny. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. And for all my Facebook folks, follow me on Facebook at Jeff Lightsy Sports on Facebook. Jeff Lightsy Sports. I post all my content there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Leave your thoughts in the chat about Paul Pierce and what he had to say about ESPN and the fact that he hated talking about LeBron James all the time. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. again. Appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Peace.